Hey there, Statterbox. How you doing? Looks like I'm a little late to my own party. Sorry about that. I had plans and stuff. I had ideas and things, and then I forgot that I had to go to a different part of a website to like click a button and everything got just a little bit pushed back. One day, one day we're going to have a smooth start, and that will be a day probably when pigs fly. So, but we dare to dream, right? Show number 32 here, Chatter with Statter. Thank you so much for everybody hanging out, waiting for me to show up. Michael Anthony Smith, I see you were here. Chocolat, good to see you. Birds just got kokov in. Ooh, yum. I'm not so sure that that's oh, your birds. They're so prehistoric, shall we say. Yes. Terry in Scotland, good to see you here today. I assumed you would be oh no, you're going to be streaming in about a half an hour. Fantastic. Yeah. Kenny Casey, good to see you here. Nope, Elaine, you were not late. I was the one that was late. Sorry about that, everybody. Yep, that's me, late to my own party. Oops, what can I say? Definitely did not mean to have that happen. But poor choices were made. I had to run to the store because I had to get a Red Bull. They were out of the delicious coconut berry flavor. And Kenny, I've never seen that coconut berry flavor sugar free. I've only seen the regular original Red Bull in sugar free. But I swear that coconut berry flavor, for those of you who can handle Red Bulls, if you have not tried the white can, it's not it says coconut, but if you read the label closely, it's actually coconut berry. And I kid you not, it tastes exactly like those raspberry zingers, the raspberry coconut zingers that used to be Dolly Madison, but I think are now Hostess. So if you want, I mean, it is a liquid sugar bomb. There's no two ways about it. You cannot drink the white Red Bull. Well, really, you can't drink any Red Bull and think you're doing something good for your body. But the white Red Bull, it's so tasty that you just know it's like, oh, this is going to kill me. This is going to kill me. Yep, exactly. Oh, thanks, Elaine. I'm glad that you noticed the backdrop. Hey, Corey Scott. Good to see you, Broken Soul, on the other platform. Yeah. Oh, Patrick, you're here too. Yes, medium 7 Up. You haven't tried the white one? I did not try the white one for the longest time because all my eyes saw was coconut. And I was like, I don't really know if coconut sounds like a good soda pop flavor. Well, I had one of my baristas, she clued me into it was actually coconut berry, and she was saying it was the bomb. And I was like, okay, I'll try one. Because yellow was my favorite. And so I never really strayed far from yellow unless I had to. And so I was like, fine, I'll break my habits and I'll get a new habit, as it turns out. So the white one is now my official favorite Red Bull. And so much so that I went back to my barista and I was like, you know what? I really wish you hadn't have told me about this. Like, that's how good it is. And then I went and did the exact same thing to a lady in 7-Eleven. I was buying some yellows and she was like, don't take the last one. Yellow's my favorite. And I was like, yellow was my favorite too. But have you ever tried the coconut berry? And I told her all about it. And she literally said to me, oh, I wish you hadn't told me about that. And it was just like, yes, I've passed the curse along. It is so good. Oh, Terry Gilmore, no worries. I'm so glad that you stopped in to say hello. And if you've got things to do, it makes sense. It's the middle of the day. Over there in Hawaii. And so maybe you want to hang out for just a quick second so you can look at the pretty black cats, because you are at Chatter with Statter. And thanks for joining us. All right, fantastic. There we go. Okay, so Terry, no, these aren't coconut berries. It's coconut flavor mixed with raspberry flavor. And so it's delicious. And Kenny, the coconut berry sugar free is harder to find than a Bronx Bigfoot. I didn't know that they even made coconut berry sugar free. In fact, I've never seen anything other than the original flavor, which the original flavor is kind of gross. So Patrick, I can see why you think that Red Bull is bad and gross and disgusting, but it's actually not. It's really quite tasty if you get the right flavor. Yeah, so Elaine, so yeah, I'm glad you guys are noticing the backdrop. I was okay, good good to see you later, Terry. Glad you stayed for the black cat drop, as it were. So yeah, they yes, it seems like you guys are noticing my little backdrop, which makes sense because it's not upside down surfboards for the first flipping time. I decided to get a little bit creative. I'm not sure I like what I did, but I like the idea of what I'm trying to do. So we'll be experimenting with this backdrop a little bit until another backdrop reveals itself. Or until I learn how to use a green screen. But the green screen is basically, I mean, that's to be learned, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of lower on my priority list. Right now, I want to learn fancy pants things so I can switch over to Twitch and actually have um stuff to offer people when they subscribe, because I've already got Twitch subscribers, and unfortunately the product that I'm producing on Twitch is less than stellar. If any of you all hung out for even a minute last night, you'll know what I'm talking about. I know that Kenny knows what I'm talking about because he was a trooper and he hung out the whole flippin' night, as did Andre. Haven't seen Andre in here, so I can't say, hey, howdy, thanks for hanging out. But Kenny, hey, howdy, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the kind email. I'll be shooting you an email back later this afternoon. I thought that I had figured out how to stream things off of YouTube, and I thought that I had figured out how or if my streaming software was going to give me fits for the streaming off of YouTube. As it turns out, no, I don't have anything figured out. And all of the times that we were able to stream a movie from YouTube was, I guess, at this point, just luck of the draw. Because when I tried to stream a Tyler Perry movie from YouTube, which was available on YouTube for free, like I wasn't the one who, anyway, boy, the machines got us stuttered. We were right back to the rollerball. We were literally, I mean, it was a different kind of mess up. It was a slideshow instead of a stutter. The audio came through. Huh, neat. So basically I had to sort of narrate for everybody, like, Cindy Krause and Andre and Kenny, the only ones who stuck it through. By the way, anybody who left last night, dude, if I hadn't been hosting the place, I would have been right there with you. I can't thank you enough for hanging out for even like 3 minutes into that nightmare of a stream. So, yeah, Terry in Scotland. So my latest Twitch offering was a turkey. Absolutely. We talked about turkeys the stream before, but Twitch stream was an absolute turkey. In fact, Terry, you were kind of the litmus that we were using, or Shock was using, to point out, like, no, Twitch isn't being twitchy. Terry's stream is fine. It's your stream that's messed up. And even on my feed, it was messed up, and I could see it was glitching because I was breaking the rules. I mean, let's just face it. I was breaking the rules. So there you go. Yeah. Nani aloha. Good to see you. I was hoping to see you this afternoon. Where did it go? I got my patch. So thank you so much. I thought that it got lost in the mail. Or actually, I didn't think it got lost in the mail. I thought it got stolen in the mail, because sometimes my mail gets stolen. But I got my In Denial patch, so I'm super stoked about that. And for the most part, I guess I am in denial, as the Twitch stream proved yesterday. Totally in denial. I'm stubborn. I'm going to make this movie thing work, gall dung it. Even if you guys have to pay dearly for it, apparently. Yeah, Medium 7 Up, when you posted that you were burning incense, Shock, my eyes said the exact same thing. I was like, what? You got a license from Lono? And I'm like, well, why did Lono give you a license for what? But anyway, yeah, very confused. The original Red Bull sugar-free tastes like Flintstones chewable vitamins. That doesn't surprise me, Kenny, because the original one isn't very tasty to begin with. And then add sugar-free on top of it, and it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. So Medium 7 Up, he gave it to you to cover any other smoky smells that might be existing. I can't imagine what smoky smells you might be referring to. But hey, just out of curiosity, Was the instance that Lono gave you a variety of Nag Champa? And if so, what color is the Nag Champa? Because I recently found out that Nag Champa comes in different colors. I was always under the impression that the blue box of Nag Champa was like, well, that's how Nag Champa smells. That's what it is. Um, but as it turns out, no, there's red box, there's green box, there's all sorts of different colored boxes of Nag Champa, and they all have slightly different smells. I was just about to say slightly different flavors. But yeah, and I think I like the green one the best. But yeah, I'm just wondering if it's Nog Shampoo, what color box? Michael Anthony Smith, I'm sorry that you're not feeling good. Thank you so much for swinging in for a minute. But yeah, go lay down. Lay on your left side if your tummy doesn't work, because laying on your left side is better. Um, Curtis Nix, I smell smoky smells. Ah, fall. Yeah, it must be the leaves burning. Well, it is the leaves burning now, isn't it? Yeah, just different kind leaf. Yeah, Elaine, I heard that there was an earthquake today. It was like a 6.1 on the Big Island, I think. Kamawela Man posted. 6.1 is kind of a big one. That's one of the bigger ones that we've had here in Seattle. And I remember when it happened, I was in one of the more inconvenient spots for that to be happening. Let's just call it the throne. And yeah, it was just like after the earthquake lasted for more than 5 seconds, I started to wonder, maybe I need to get up and get under a doorway. But at the same time, I was like, I'm really in no position to stand up at this point. So I wrote it out. I wrote it out, and it was a long one. It started out with a big boom, huge crashing boom, and then a bunch of boom, 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 boom. I mean, and the house just started going up and down and up and down. And then the rolling, the waves started coming through. Oh God, it was disturbing. Yeah. It was disturbing. I hope that that's the biggest earthquake that it lasted a really long time. I mean, I don't know, probably only lasted 30 seconds, but it was a really long 30 seconds. And so, yeah. Yeah, no kitty. Yeah, Patrick, shake, piddle, and roll. You wish it was piddle. No, it wasn't. See, that's where the problem lay. And yeah, medium 7 up. It totally sounds like a movie scene, although I could actually top a movie scene when it comes to toilets. So embarrassing to admit, but okay, so there's this one time when I was driving my car, and I ended up losing control of my car, and I ended up hitting a house because, I mean, generally speaking, when you hit a house, it's because you lost control of your car, right? It's not, I mean, I hope it's because you lost control. It's not because you just hit the house. So anyway, I hit the house, but I hit the house on the outside wall of the bathroom, and apparently the lady who was in the bathroom, uh, sitting on the toilet, she heard a really weird noise that was getting louder, and so she like got off the toilet, and as soon as she got off the toilet, I basically hit the house, and the toilet shot across the bathroom and through the wall into the hallway. So it's a good thing she was not riding that toilet. It's a good thing she decided to get up. And yeah, and I did that. Yeah, yeah, I did that. And it was really strange. I don't believe in angels, but I kind of believe in angels after that experience because there was like nobody on the road when this happened. No pedestrians on the road when this happened, right? So I hit this house, and then out of nowhere, and I feel like I've told this story before, out of nowhere, this dude, I swear to God, straight out of 1978, mullet, like a Journey t-shirt, like the 3/4 sleeve baseball jersey, white shirt, Journey logo, black sleeves. I mean, like he was right out of 1978. I kid you not. He comes running up to me. I saw the whole thing. Are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, have you been drinking? And I was like, no. And he's like, do you need me to take anything? And at that point, I was just like, I really like this question. And so, because sometimes, and this was before recreational things were legal in my state. So I turned and I looked, and as it turns out, for the first time in my life, I didn't have like a weed pipe or a roach or a whatever. I didn't have anything in my car. I didn't. Which was weird. But anyway, so I turn and I look in my car and I remember, oh yeah, I cleaned out my car yesterday. So then I turn back to him and I'm like, no, dude, I'm good. And he was like, awesome. And then he flipping just disappeared. And then only after the angel disappears, the people come out of the house, right? And they're just like, whoa, and so, but they were super cool. One of the guys in the house, he was just looking at it and he was just like, yeah, I've had friends do this. I've never done this, but I've had friends do this. And so obviously they were, you know, familiar with people who lose control of their cars. Yeah, and so I pass by that house almost every single day. I laugh every time I think of it. Um, yeah, and um, Patrick McCleary, no one on the road, and suddenly house. I know, where did that house come from? It just like ran out into the street, right? Yeah, no, I hit some gravel while going around a corner, and it went from there. So yeah, yeah, so that's so that's what I did. Oh, hey Andre, good to see you. All right, excellent. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that you hung out last night. You and Kenny and Cindy Krause were total troopers. Um I cannot even explain to you how much I appreciate you guys hanging out for that nightmare of of a stream. So it was super awesome to know that you guys were so supportive. And I will be trying to in the future, after I get my life together, I will be re-streaming Rollerball and I'll be re-streaming Boo a Medea Halloween only after I get control of those movies onto my computer and are able to stream them without the powers that be knowing. So yeah, Kenny, that had to be one stout toilet not to shatter on impact. I was kind of surprised. I mean, my car didn't go all the way into the house. It just sort of made a dent in the wall. So maybe it was just, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Um, so, Shock, if they didn't fix the gravel, did they put concrete pylons in front of that bathroom? No, but they did build a deck. So had if I hit the house again, I'll have to go through a deck before I get to the bathroom. And okay, you can laugh and just be like, "Really? You're going to hit the house again?" Who hits the same house twice? Well, my neighbor, he was a doctor and he was an anesthesiologist and he was a horrible driver and he ended up hitting the same house twice. So it does happen. Now I'm hoping that I'm not going to be part of that Hall of Fame, but it does happen. So yeah. So Andre, you hung out even after I left. Awesome. Okay, cool. Hey, Pappy Shaney, good to see you. You missed the horrible stream last night, so I'm glad you're here today and not last night. Because last night it wasn't a Twitch movie night. It was, as Andre says, it was a Medea slideshow. Yes, where I was then giving them clues because they weren't able to see all of the videos, right? And so it's like, okay, right now what's happening is this girl's pretending she's dead. And it was like, oh yeah, okay, good to know, because you couldn't hear that with the audio. Let's see here. Shock, the house next door to you burned to the ground twice, but that was arson. That sucks though, dude. I would not like that. I mean, arson or not, I would be very unhappy to have a house right next to me burning down. I had a house like not next to me. Well, okay, so there's one house and then there's the street and then there's another house across the street. And that house that was across the street, it burned down and that was way too close for comfort. I didn't want any kind of embers deciding to land on my land. Um uh Oh, interesting. Oh, so all right, Michi Mama, you're learning tech too. You just learned something. Michi Mama says, I did not get a notification because I was on my regular account, but it's when you switched to Michi Mama that you saw that I was live. Interesting. I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess YouTube might only know you through one name, or yeah, I don't really know how that works. Um, so wow, okay, so I assumed that the earthquake in Hawaii was on the Big Island, but it sounds like Oahu and Kauai also felt it. That's pretty intense, dude. Because last I checked on the map, Hawaii is on the other side of the island chain from Kauai. I thought. I mean, it is. I know it is. Let's see here. Cindy, you had a car crash into your house on what was it? Kahan Ka, Kahanhouse Circle? Oh boy, I'm sure I could say that one day when when I'm not online, but now I like am all embarrassed. Anyway, so on some circle that starts with a K, came right through the wall right after your sister had gotten up. Yeah, I'll tell you, man, it's amazing the timing and how lucky people are. Um, what like the lady who just got off the toilet, because honestly, I mean, she was an older lady, right? I mean, like the house that I ran into was definitely full of people who were probably more concerned about the cops coming to their house than I was with what the cops might find in my car, even when I didn't know that I didn't have anything in the car to find the house. You know what I'm saying? Like they were definitely involved in a lifestyle that I may have also been involved in. And so but she was an older lady though, and she probably would have died if she had ridden that toilet through the wall. She probably would have died. And that would have sucked. So yeah, uh, oh yeah, I bet, Shock, it made you obsessive about clearing your fence lines. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, oh, Michi Mama, so disregard the Facebook message that I sent you. Okay, I will. That's hysterical. So, wow, 2.5 on Oahu. That's not that big of a shake, but still though, yeah, 6.2 definitely can travel for sure, for sure. Um Andre, honestly, yeah, hey, you hit Medea's house and everybody has warrants. Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if some of their roommates were like, I'm gonna go leave through the back door and you can just call me when I can come home, okay? I definitely got the impression that there was you know, potentially people living there like that. Um, so, oh no, you just accidentally hit report under actions. Don't know who you accidentally spoofed. Uh-oh. Um, yeah, I no, Andre, I don't think it was a grow house. I think it was maybe more of a meth house. Actually, to tell you the truth. So, but either way, yeah, a grow house would have also been a bad house to be hitting. I would have felt just as bad. Maybe even worse, actually. Right, it's a speed grow house. Exactly. 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 Speaking of speed grow houses, my neighborhood had one of those, and one morning before I went to work, I heard a huge explosion, and I was like, "Huh, that sounded like an explosion that sounded like it was way closer than I would like any explosion to be." So, sort of put it out of my mind for a minute and continued to get ready for work. So, so then I went out to go to work, and as I'm pulling out of my street, I see that there's the what are they? The MRAPs or whatever. Like they're the tanks that police departments have. So there's a tank. There's the police tank. At this one house, and suddenly I was like, "Oh, imagine that was the house that exploded earlier today." Anyway, so I was a nosy neighbor, and so I stood there and watched them all get arrested. And um, and it was a family, and it was clearly like, "Oh yeah, it's a meth house." When you saw, the kids coming out, but mom came out too. And mom had her little Pomeranian dog, and I'll tell you what, dude, I have never seen a better groomed Pomeranian dog. That dog had the shiniest flippin' hair I've ever seen in a Pomeranian. Clearly, that dog got brushed constantly. And that's all I could think of. That's all I really remember from that day is just how fluffy and shiny and healthy that dog's hair looked. Um, and I attributed that to excessive grooming, shall we say? Yeah. Uh huh. Yep. So, uh-oh. Oh no, Kenny. When you were 5, you went out to play in the backyard one morning and found a car wrapped up in the fence. The buggers took out about 30 feet of fence and poles. That's funny. And back in the day, really, as long as you maybe paid for the repairs of the fence, nobody would. Because my best guess is that driver was not what we would consider sober. I mean, my dad, I know before he married my mom, he was a bartender. And according to my mom, when I was little, he fell asleep at the wheel like 5 or 6 times, and that's why he wrecked his car. And it's just, and as an adult, I'm like, I don't think he fell asleep at the wheel. I mean, he might have fallen asleep at the wheel, but it would have been better described as passing out at the wheel. So yeah. Uh, no, Andre, I think I'm gonna save my secret drug recipes for later on. Um, let's see, Andre. It's funny. San Francisco SWAT also has a bus to travel undercover, plus the armored truck. Yeah, they have the local. I don't know if it's the feds or who it is. They have a bus too, and I know this because a couple of months ago, the like there was a 40 or 50 cop operation takedown of this one guy. In this apartment complex, and I just so happened to see like all of the vehicles. Well, no, not all of them. I thought it was all of them. I happened to see them just rushing into town, and it just so happened I was going the same direction that they were going in, and so I ended up seeing where they were staged, and it was like the most militaristic, overly equipped police force I've ever seen in my neighborhood, and I've seen my name anyway. And as it turns out, they completely kicked everybody out of the apartment complex for like 6 hours in this siege, all for this one guy who had an arrest warrant for assault. And they thought he might have a gun. What? You're kicking an entire apartment complex out of their apartments because one guy has one warrant, not even a murder or anything, just an assault warrant, and he might have a gun? I don't know, man. All I know is I really feel like they must have needed to use all those vehicles because they brought everything. And I feel like they needed to like bring it out because it was the end of some fiscal quarter and they had to prove that they needed it or something so they could keep the toys. Because it was the dumbest thing ever. And they did get the guy. There was flash grenades and they broke his window and they like rappelled down into, I mean, it was the stuff made of movies. People were posting it on Facebook. And it turns out the guy had one warrant for assault, and he did have a revolver. He had a revolver. He had a revolver. So yeah, they bring out an MRAP for revolvers now, just so you know. Yeah. So yeah, well, Kenny Casey, I assumed that that the guy ran off who ran into the fence, of course. But it doesn't matter. You can run off all you want. Your license plate's still there. They're gonna figure out who that car belongs to, right? I mean, the best thing you can hope for is you've got a good alibi and say, I didn't, and somebody must have stoled my car. But I mean, get real, dude. Like that's kind of funny. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that the French National Police just hang out in their armored personnel vehicles, but I do know that in Spain, one of my friends was there when what's his face was still in power and it was still hardcore fascism in Spain, and he was told by locals He was a blonde hair, blue eyed American guy, by the way. And he was told by locals, like, yeah, there's cops always in, this tank and this tank and this tank. And if you ever see a cop get out of their vehicle, you need to get the out, go, just hide, go. You don't want that cop to see you. And as it turns, Franco, thank you, Andre. And as it turns out, he had that happen and hightailed it into like the nearest cafe bar and like tried to blend in, but he's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed American, didn't really blend in too well with a lot of the Spaniards. Luckily, the locals were, they knew it was up. And so this one local family was like, yeah, come sit with us. Here's your wine. Here's a plate. Blah, blah, blah. And, made it look like he'd been there for a while. And, the cop came in and was like, yeah, to my friend. And, the locals are like, you got the wrong guy. He's been here with us all night. What are you talking about? Look, he's been eating, blah, blah, blah. We've been feasting all evening, blah, blah, blah. And so Mr. Copper Man from the tank he left, but I don't know what would have happened had that local family not been so chill. I just know that, yeah, I just know that he was very lucky to have been told to get the hell out of Dodge when you see someone leave one of those vehicles, and he found a good place to hide. So, let's see here. Oh, hey, Photo Luke. Good to see you. I didn't see you slide in. Well, maybe you just slide in right there. So good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I think, Shock, that's what they were doing, was just using up all the equipment so they could justify still having it. Patrick, I don't think Patrick, that's not funny. It's actually really funny. So, Patrick says he heard Burien is where the toothbrush was invented. Any other place, it would have been called the teeth brush. Ha ha, that's funny. Not altogether. Actually, you know what? No, I take issue. I take issue with that. If in the Pacific Northwest, now come on, Patrick, you're from the Pacific Northwest. You have to know this. Kent is where the toothbrush was invented. If it had been any place else, it would have been called teeth brush. Kent is the rural hicks that we make fun of. Kent, not Burien. Kent. It's Kent. Trust me, where the toothbrush was invented. Let's see here. You can see both sides. Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. I can see both sides of that. If you did have a gun, well, actually, if you did have fun, I think he meant gun, and killed an innocent, they would have been criticized for not doing that. Happens frequently to us with fires. Well, you should have done, quite possibly. I do know, though, that obviously it's only because of how it ended up turning out, but the residents were pissed. Like the residents of the residents of those apartment complexes, that apartment complex, they were not happy with that. So yeah, hard to say, let's see here. Well, yeah, Andre, that's part of, I think that's not uncommon in Europe, actually, to have the military and police be kind of intertwined. I know one of my friends who was in a band called The Accused, and The Accused is kind of a hardcore rock band, and they look like they are such. Well, as it turns out, so and The Accused was in the 80s somewhat internationally known, and they were particularly popular in Europe, both in Italy and in Spain. So they were in Italy once, and they've dreadlocks and leather jackets and Americans, clearly. But it just so happens that my friend, the bass player for The Accused, he was born in Italy. And so he still had Italian paperwork. So they're in Italy, and he's got hash on him. They're rock rocker and roller people. Why do I have to explain to you why the rockers kind of freak out when a bunch of military cops roll up on them, right? So, so the military cops in Italy roll up on the accused and start and big machine guns, and like they're coming out of a van kind of thing, and the band's just like, this sucks. And so one of the guys, and by the way, my friend, he was born in Italy, but he does not speak Italian. He was born and left Italy when he was like 3 or something, right? So he doesn't speak Italian. So anyway, one of the military police sees my friend's paperwork and then suddenly like convinces himself that he knows who my friend is and is just like, oh, you're, blah, blah, blah. And he says something, and my friend's name is Alex. He was just like, yeah, like, how are we, I don't know how to I don't know how to respond to this. But basically through poor Italian and English, it became clear the cop thought Alex was someone famous. And while they were on tour in Italy or whatever, like, trust me, not that level of fame that a cop would know who the hell these guys are. So the cop is convinced that he's someone famous, but the cop knows that this guy is so famous that he just wants to keep chill. So he's like, I'll keep your secret. I recognize you, it kind of thing. So, so then the cop who thought Alex was some famous Italian dude told the other cops to leave the other dudes alone, and then they all left. Alex is still not sure who the hell the cop thought he was. I mean, how many Italians have long blonde dreadlocks? I don't really know in the 80s, right? But yeah, the European military and police are, yeah, they work closely together, if not the same exact thing. I don't know what the Calabinari are, but I'm assuming perhaps they're the Italian cops. Because yeah, when the cops pulled up on the band, they were definitely, feeling a little anxious, shall we say? Yeah. So, hey, Chris, where are you at? Are you in Huntington this weekend today, right now, or where are you at? I know that you were scheduled for Huntington this weekend, but it's the end of the weekend and you are very mobile. So where are you at, Chris? Where are you hanging out these days? Oh, wait, you might have told everybody and I might have missed it. Hold on. Oh, you're in Ontario. See, I already did. You're in Ontario for the weekend and back to work tomorrow, heading for Tyler, Texas. Awesome. I don't know where Tyler, Texas is, but I feel like I've been through it. That name very much rings a bell. So, let's see here. Exactly, Kenny. Words to live by. If you see the cops come out, just leave. Just leave. Just leave. So I don't know why Shock is asking if Andre watches Saturday Night Live, but I watched Saturday Night Live this morning, actually. And Kim Kardashian was the host of Saturday Night Live, which was really weird. I thought a very strange choice, but oddly enough, she was kind of funny. Like, they really did writing for her well this week. It wasn't a phenomenal episode, but it was way better than I expected. Let's just put it that way. So let's see here. Wait, Andre, you remember when you had a Marine invasion of the Bay Area? It was the last big military excursion in the Bay Area. I don't like, what were they doing, war games or something? That would be weird. So let's see here. Hey, Robert, good to see you. Glad that Seattle's in the house. Speaking of which, there, Seattle man, Robert, did you get there was some serious thunder going on, just maybe about an hour ago. I thought my house was going to shake. It was going on. It was loud, so loud. Shock, your ex pulled a stunt like that at a party one time, being mistaken for Don Henley. Hey, I mean, if they, like, well, first off, if it's a cop and the cop insists, you agree with the cop. But even still, if it's a random stranger and they insist that you are who it's, there comes a point where it's like, you're right, you got me, whatever. Sure, I'll take a selfie with you or whatever. Right? It's just like, dude, you know, because they're not gonna, because if they're convinced that you are who you are and you deny it, that only reinforces that you're the famous person they think you are, right? I mean, right? All right, Patrick, go make the dinner, homemade bacon, mac and cheese. And then before you put the leftovers in the fridge, you should probably drive up here to my house and see if you have any leftovers after I get on that. Bacon, mac and cheese. That sounds delicious. Um, yeah, okay, so that's so weird, Kenny. So you're saying that the Police in Germany don't play either. For some reason, I was thinking the Police were the Italian, was the Italian word, but it's the German word? Okay, that's cool. Um, Curtis Nix, this is what is so fun about our group of Ohana. It's like dropping into the middle of a party and just listening. Yeah, well, like I've said before, and like we all know, you never know where the chatter is gonna or no, the chatter is gonna scatter, here at Statter's house, right? Because yeah, chances are, with the way I've never been diagnosed with ADHD, but all the memes that I see for ADHD kind of make me wonder if I have it. And if you mention one thing, it spins my brain off into a direction that I probably have a story for. Um, so, let's see here. Polizei is the German police. Okay, thank you for phonetically spelling that out for me. Let's see here. Oh, Shock, you got your in denial patch too? Yeah, so did I. It looks like we've got the denial club. Perfect. Love it. Um so let's see here. Um let's see here. So, oh, wait. Okay, so Shock. All right, hold on. Wait. This is a plot twist. So, Medium 7 Up asked Shock whether or not, I guess, her fake ex or her real ex, fake Don Henley, was giving his autographs. And Shock responds, no. But a few minutes later, when everyone in the place was staring at him, his date said, now you've done it, blankhead. So wait, now, are you referring to yourself in third person, Shock? Are you the date who said that? Or were you at the party with your ex and you saw all this go down? Because that was a plot twist I was not anticipating. Yeah, so let's see here. Oh, Poppy Shaney, you have a wife, or you have a friend, and his wife looks like Lisa Kudrow, and she gets the "Can I take a picture" all the time. Yeah, well, there you go. Um, didn't Lisa Kudrow play twins? Like she was Phoebe on Friends, but didn't Phoebe have a twin? And obviously Lisa Kudrow played the twin, but what I really mean is, wasn't the twin on a different show? Like, I feel like it was Mad About You, which Mad About You, I think, came before Friends, and I think Friends was kind of a spin-off of Mad About You, what with the Phoebe twin character carrying through. Anyway, my point is, your wife, or your friend's wife, who looks like Lisa Kudrow, should just say, no, she's not Lisa Kudrow, she's her twin, or something like that, and make a play on the whole Phoebe, whoever Phoebe's twin was. Way too esoteric of a joke, and I'm sure nobody but me would think it's funny, so she probably shouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. Um, so let's see. Oh, so Shock, you were not the date. Okay, yeah, that was a plot twist I did not see coming up. Um, Andre, excellent. You have been on denial and in denial. Good. I have only been in denial. I have not been on denial. Um, oh, that's so funny. Kenny Casey, if anybody ever mistakes you for a celebrity, maybe Peter Boyle, you're signing that autograph and posing for the pic. Mm-hmm. Yep. Shock, yeah. You too, huh? You think you might be ADHD? Let's form a club. Squirrel! squirrel. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And not only that, it's like, oh, look, there's a squirrel. Now I feel like I must know everything about the squirrel. And so go a rabbit hole down doing research and learning everything about squirrels. And then when I finally come up, I'll be able to tell you everything you needed to know about squirrels that you never wanted to know. And yeah, there you go. Okay, so Tyler, Texas is east of Dallas. I definitely think I have been through there then. That is ringing bells. Andre, in France, you are considered guilty till proven innocent. That's the law. Well, honestly, to tell you the truth, I mean, we say it's otherwise here, but let's get real. It's not. So let's see. Oh, thanks, Curtis. Yeah, you're not the first person to mention that I have a voice for radio. I do. I don't really know. I wouldn't even have the faintest idea how to get involved in radio. I should ask Michael Anthony Smith, but he isn't feeling good and he went to sleep, so I'll have to ask him later. Curtis, I probably won't like the pay cut. Oh, you might be surprised at just how frugal I am able to be. I actually don't make that much money in my real life, so radio probably wouldn't be much of a cut. Andre, interesting. When you were in Egypt, they thought you were a soccer player named Chakta or something like that, and they would see me and point and say Chakta. That's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't think I mean, I'm too covered in ink. I don't think I would ever get mistaken for anyone. And I suppose on the bright side, nobody's ever going to get mistaken for me. So there you have it. So eMusic says, one time Nani Aloha and her friend were mistaken as members of a well-known Hawaiian music group. It was hilarious when the people wouldn't believe they weren't. Yeah, well, and I mean, I guess if I was ever in that situation, it's just like, well, do you want to hear me sing? Because if you don't believe me, then if you hear me sing, you will be like, oh yeah, you're not them. Oh, you're not that person. Oh no, you are not that person. So, Poppy Shaney, you thought that my very random esoteric idea is a good one. Ursula, that's it. Ursula is the name. Phoebe and Ursula. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say, Poppy Shaney, is she should tell people that no, I'm not Lisa Kudrow, I'm Ursula. And then they might get it or not. Yeah. Let's see here. A squirrel emote for the Twitch stream, perhaps. I think one of the emotes that I want to do is something to do with a rat. But speaking of, thank you very much, Kenny. Actually, speaking of the Twitch stream and emotes, I've got 2 different emote options here for Prel. Now, this was the one I wanted to do. This particular logo. And I still think I might. I don't know. And then somehow we can change the Prel to say something like goo or I don't know. Or maybe we can even just erase the Prel and just have the shampoo, whatever in there. So there's this one. I would like to make that an emote, but I was also thinking that this simpler Prel logo might make a better emote. So what I'm wondering is, what I want is input. Wow, that word was hard to come up with. What I want is input from you guys. Which would you rather see as an emote? The tube of Prel or the Prel label with the flower? Tube or flower? Tube or flower? Tube or flower? See, that's like an eye exam, 1 or 2, 1 or 2, 1 or 2. So let's see here. You bring up a good point, Shock. A good singer can fake being bad. That actually, I hadn't thought about that. And Kenny, your poem will probably sound good in my voice. I'm going to make a graphic for that poem, which is the only reason why I haven't talked about that poem yet on the stream, even though I'm talking about it right now. Kenny wrote a very cute poem. I don't have it printed out, so I cannot read it. I don't have another monitor to pull it up on, but I'm gonna make a little graphic for it, and I'm gonna read it, and it's gonna be cute, and we're all gonna love it because it's a cute poem. Um, let's see here. Um, so Oh, really? You don't look like him, but you have the same first and last name as the bass player singer for Dropkick Murphys? Yeah, interesting. Uh, I'll bet you if people find your social media platforms, they're like really bummed. It's like, but that's not the guy I was looking for. Andre, you have a doppelganger. You've seen him, and people always ask me if I'm a bouncer from NYC or if I have a brother. I did see him. Um, I did see him once running out of a restaurant with a blonde in a suit. Not really me. Well, I would like to think if you saw him running out of a restaurant that it wasn't really you. Oh, Poppy Shaney. Speaking of rats, is the dishwasher repaired and how is the leaking sink? Well, you know what? Why don't I get back to my face? Sorry about that. The leaking sink is taken care of. I had to call in a plumber, and my boss, my boss was just like, you know, when you call a plumber, they charge you $99 just to come out. And I was like, well, yeah, of course they do. And it's like, and then they take $99 off of whatever job you do, whatever. And she's like, oh, I don't really like that. And it's just like, well, okay, I'm glad you have a husband to fix your stuff. Oh, wait, your husband doesn't fix your stuff. That's why your sink still doesn't work, because neither you or your husband are willing to pay $100 to have some guy come out and see if he can fix your stuff. But here's the thing. Why wouldn't a plumber be able to fix the leak under my sink? Like, what kind of gamble do you think I am taking by calling a plumber and having to pay $99 for him just to come out when I'm going to get that $99 taken off of the bill when he fixes it, which is exactly what happened. And so now and oh boy, am I glad I did not attempt to fix that sink myself like some people suggested. There was like they had to cut, pipes and reinstall and put in a vent and whatever. It was actually not a cheap job. But it was done. My sink drains better than it ever has drained before, and this is the icing on the cake. The plumber that my boss had recommended to me, who installed the sink, didn't install it to code, which was what caused the problem to begin with. And so, frankly, I'd rather pay a certified flippin' plumber $100 to come out and see if he can fix my stuff than some dude who comes by word of mouth and ends up installing it wrong. And then 5-10 years later, I've got this problem that requires pipes to be cut from under my sink. Yeah, no, seriously, Curtis, that's exactly. They have a truck full of stuff. Like it's like on what planet does it not make sense to call the people who can flippin' fix it the moment you call them? It just doesn't make sense. I don't know why. I don't know why my boss had such a problem with the idea of paying $100 that was going to come off of the bill for the job that was going to be done anyway. But it looks like, okay, so, all right, we've got some people arguing. Kenny Casey and Andre, they like the tube, but Miles, he likes the flower. Shock likes the tube. Poppy Shaney, he likes both the flower and the tube because he's making life miserable. No, he's not making life miserable. He's making life difficult. He's making life creative. So, Curtis Nix, never mind. You really don't want to work in radio. No different than the job I just retired from. Crap call times. Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, chances are I'd be on the air like at 4:30 in the morning or something, which would be, good Lord, a nightmare for me. So, let's see here. um Oh, okay. So eMusic tomorrow when Rick S and Darlene come to visit, you have a bottle of green liquid for Rick, and it's not Prel this time, but it's another old time household item. eMusic, is it Palmolive? Is he soaking in it? Is he soaking in it? Is it Palmolive? Please tell me it's Palmolive. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so excited about that. So Nani Aloha, she's up with the flower, and let's see here. Yeah, oh Kenny, you if you've ever done plumbing, and I have, says Kenny, you'd get why plumbers charge so much. No, Kenny, I don't really understand why plumbers don't charge more. I mean, it's a miserable, gross, disgusting job. Like what even if I could have, even if I had the knowledge and the tools to fix what I had going on under the sink, I probably would have opted to pay somebody to do it. It's a miserable flipping job. Like they deserve all the money that they get. Anybody who goes under my crawl space, yeah, you deserve big money too. Totally. Oh, but Poppy Shaney, I never did finish the thing. So my sink is beautiful. It's working great. But the part for my dishwasher still hasn't come in yet. I'm starting to think that the part's never going to come in, and so I'm starting to wonder if I should just get a refund from Sears. But I figure if Sears can't get the part, I probably can't get it anywhere else anyway. So I don't know. Yeah. So, okay. So Poppy Shaney, you decided the tube was your final answer. Okay. And eMusic, you say the flower. So let's see here. Poppy Shaney, exactly. Sometimes you get what you pay for, hence the recommendation from the boss. Precisely. And that's just like, I would rather pay more and have it done right the first time. Because as Mitchie Mama just says, I hate cheap people that cause more cost in the end. Exactly. It's just, yeah. Yeah. I would much rather pay more and then, than have to go back and fix it. Oh, Kenny, you're so cute and funny. Bad venting will stop your drains up in a flippin' heartbeat. Yeah, that's true. And you know what even stops them up sooner? No venting at all. Yeah, I said that. No venting at all. None. When the plumber explained to me and showed me, and when I heard the water flowing down my pipes after the legit plumber was through with the job, I realized that the moment that I got that sink installed, I had set off basically a time bomb waiting for that leak to happen. Cause they didn't, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. So let's see here. Mitchie Mama, you were gonna say Palmolive too. That's what you use, even though you can have all the Dawn you want. Nice. Oh, it was Palmolive. Is that it? Oh, excellent. I guessed it. Yeah, yeah. So you can just call him Madge. He's soaking in it. I think that's so awesome. Okay, so Kenny Casey, maybe I could somehow get the flower on the tube. No, but because I. Thanks for thinking I have the skills and stuff. No, I can't do that. But Shock said that she might be able to do some graphic thingamabobs, so maybe Shock can. And I know that somebody could, but it's not me. Yeah. So Photo Luke, yeah, Photo Luke. Well, the funny thing is, the plumber that installed the sink, he's an actual, he is a plumber. He really is a plumber. He really is. But he just does stuff half-assed. Is really what I think it is. And the dude that came in doesn't do stuff half-assed. And he made himself very clear. He's like, look, this is going to cost a lot of money because this is what I have to do. And he's like, but I'm going to do this for free. And I could have charged you $500 more if I did this, that, and the other thing. But here you go. Here's your $700 bill. I was like, okay, I'll pay the $700 bill. Fudge. Yeah, that's what you got. That's what you got the credit card for. So let's see, refund and go to build in. I bet the plumber knows a carpenter. Well, it's funny you should say that, Curtis. I think the plumber definitely he clearly had plans for my house. He wanted to do a lot of things, and I was like, dude, I can't afford that. Um, so I don't know necessarily if well, okay, Andre, first off, I don't have a sewer. I'm on septic. And there might have been some kind of vent, but it like wasn't working at all. Like he basically said, he used the term, I'm going to install a vent for you. So that made me think that there wasn't one. I might have misinterpreted what he meant, but that's uh but yeah, I mean I could have misinterpreted it, but I don't think I was, because the difference in flow and drain is night and day. And the the velocity of at which the drain is flowing now will definitely be conducive to not clogging up in the future. Whereas the slow drain that happened before, I mean, yeah, it was a recipe for building a clog, basically. And Bobby Shaney, I'm so sorry that your that your coworker is just like, am I with a crazy man right now who's just laughing for no reason? But I'm glad I got you laughing, because yeah, it was a sad, it really, when I had the realization that the plumber that my boss had recommended to me was really a crummy plumber, I really was bummed. Yeah, so that's how that works. Oh gosh, Photo Luke, yes. Thank you so much. I always forget this part. If you guys like what you're watching, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified, you should probably hit the notification button. But I'm not promising that that's going to happen. That's YouTube. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Let's just hope that they do for you. How about that? So, so let's see here. Andre, septic tank, you don't get those around here. Yeah, I'm supposed to be on sewer. Like they want me to. All right, let me rephrase that. About 10 years ago, sewer was introduced into my neighborhood, and they were encouraging everybody to hook up to it. I chose not to because I am on the highest part of my neighborhood, and my drain field was working just fine. And also, I don't want another. I don't. Well, and I didn't have $20,000 to hook up to the sewer. That's actually the bigger issue. And I didn't want to pay $20,000 to add another bill to my household monthly bills. So when I sell this house, it's gonna have to get hooked up to the sewer. But well, that's not my problem right now. So, um, so Curtis, you have the same style dishwasher and now just waiting to do your small kitchen. How old is my house? I'm not going to tell you how old my house is because I don't want to do the math, but it was built in 1952. So it's like almost 70. I guess 69. Is that how that works? So almost 70 years old. And it still has the knob and tube. It has basically all the original parts. Still has the knob and tube wiring, still has the galvanized pipe, plumbing, still on septic. Although it's not all original parts. I think my house started out as an oil burning heat source furnace, then switched to, what are they called? Baseboard heaters. But now I have a heat pump. So, yeah. So I guess there's something fancy pants in my house. Kenny Casey, you're so glad that your niece's hubby is a master plumber with his own business. Yeah, I for sure think that is handy. Although, actually, that is and it isn't handy, because here's the deal. Chances are every little plumbing thing that needs to be fixed in your niece's house probably isn't fixed because he doesn't want to do work once he gets home from work. I know that is the way for so many contractors. They've got so many home repairs that they're gonna do, but they never get around to doing it because when they get home from work, they don't want to do more work. Uh, so, Mitchie Mama, yeah, if you have time and you don't know people who've already done work for me, you get 3 estimates. You can tell who's BSing and who knows what they're talking about. Yeah, I considered that, but honestly, this one plumbing unit that I use, it's called Puget Sound Plumbing. I don't know, maybe I pay too much, maybe I don't, but they've come in and saved my butt at this house multiple times. I like them. So I was just like, screw it. I mean, I'm not a regular customer. I've probably only had to use them 3 times in like 20 years. But still though, I never had them leave my house and I never felt like, wow, I just got screwed over. Like every time they've left my house, it's just like, wow, I'm really glad that those guys came in and fixed this and blah 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 that. Um like when the water pressure my water system started to increase their pressure in the pipes for whatever reason on the route that I was in, and my pipes were kind of like not able to handle it. And so water started shooting out of the wall from behind my toilet one day. So that was a problem. And so they came and fixed that. And in the meantime, while they came and fixed that, they noticed that my hot water tank was totally installed wrong. And they're just like, huh, that's backwards. And basically, that could be the way they installed that, like, that could act as a bomb. So why don't I just fix this for you? So they threw in a couple like free services that were safety oriented. So I don't know. Let's see here. Um Yeah, I don't know how old my water heater is, Kenny, but I do know that one of my reasons for finally getting a credit card was literally like, I might have to get a water heater one day, and I don't have the money to just randomly pay for a water heater and the installation all at once when I'm gonna have to do this, because chances are it's gonna happen all at once. Um, and yeah, so there we go. Uh, um, oh, Bobby Janie, I just saw your flow and drain joke. That's funny. Ask your physician if that will help you. uh, we are so funny here in the Statterbox. So, let's see. Kenny Casey galvanized pipe water supply. Why not? I have no idea. I have no idea. Um, I wouldn't even know. Um, let's see here. Shakalak. I think everyone should be friends with one plumber, one electrician, one cop, one carpenter, and one bricklayer. Yeah, it is good to know those people, and I definitely know a lot of those. Let's see. I know I do know a plumber, but he was kind of crummy. Although this other plumber, I don't know what's going on with him. So he very thorough without a doubt, but basically he told me, even though he like works as a contractor for the company I called, and I don't know if this is how this normally works or if he was just like, I don't know what, I don't know. I kind of had a feeling he like maybe wanted a date. He was like, no, I'm your personal plumber now. Whenever you call this company, they're going to call me and I'll blah, 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 blah. Make sure that you ask for me or blah, blah, blah. I can't remember how it went, but it was just like, really? You're my personal plumber now? That doesn't seem like that's normal. Like when a plumber comes to a house, he doesn't like declare himself the plumber of the house, does he? Is this normal? I think he might have wanted a date. Um, I didn't give him my phone number, but he had my phone number now that I think about it. So there you go. Um, uh, yeah, I cops can be hard to be friends with, and I just definitely the closest I ever came, and I think I told this story last stream. The closest I ever came to having a cop as a friend was the 911 operator that I dated, who had to break up with me because he was a good Christian boy and he couldn't have someone like me in his life. Oops. um, let's see here. So, Mitchie Mama, you found a plumber in the Yellow Pages a long time ago when you had a nighttime emergency, right? Since then, I've been in their contact list, and the woman always gives me fast service. Yeah, exactly. I feel like, because yeah, the Puget Sound plumbing people, they know who I like when I call, they know who I am, even though I've only like called them 3 times. So clearly, they try to keep they try to acknowledge their regular customers. Um, so yeah, I know medium 7 up. Shocklock did sound like she was describing the village people. No, lawyers do have friends. My coworker is a lawyer. She was in roller I met her in roller derby. I'm friends with lawyers have friends. It just depends on the kind of lawyer they are. Um So Andre, you took building classes and the first thing we had to do is fix the mess ups that others did. Man, it's hard to understand what's going on in people's heads when they did the mess up work. Yeah, well, friends of mine who used to work in the construction industry in the 80s refer to it as cocaine carpentry. So, you know, take that for what you will. It's called cocaine carpentry. You kind of go back and look at what they did and you just wonder what they were doing. Um, let's see here. Nice, Mitchie Mama. Yeah, you've got a client who's a personal injury lawyer. He helped take someone to small claims court and you won 3 grand. Nice. Yeah, seriously. Sometimes it is helpful to have lawyers as friends, without a doubt. And that is a perfect example. That is a perfect example. Um, Curtis, when you work on someone's house and you see a problem, you feel like you have to let them know what it is, and yeah, and how to address it. No, I think that's a really good plan. My friend Chris, the same guy actually who was in Spain with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, he was a painter, not like artistic, but like houses. And he went to this one house. This husband and wife had just bought the house and they wanted to, I think, like paint their wood trim windows or something. I don't remember what it was. So he was out there to give them an estimate. And and while he was there, he was like, you guys have a carpenter ant problem big time. And they were like, no, we don't. And he's like, no, no, you do. And they're just like, no, we just bought this house. The house has been inspected. There's no insect problems, blah, blah, blah. And Chris is just like, I can hear them. And he pointed out, like, see these little piles of dust and see that, this is all signs of carpenter ants. Well, they didn't didn't give him the painting job, and B, didn't do anything about the ants until a couple years later when they called him up again and needed his testimony because they were suing the home inspection company because their house was so infested with carpenter ants that it basically had become unlivable. And the inspector completely missed it. And Chris was the one he was a painter, and he was just like, yeah, I can hear them. So, yeah, it's always better to let folks know, even if it's not your job. It's like, he's not an exterminator. He doesn't know. So let's see here. A shock. I'm the bad influence. So proud of me. Yeah, well, there you go. That's, there's, let's see. Someone referred to me and 2 of my friends as hear no evil, see no evil, needs more evil. So, yeah, it is what it is. So let's see here. Nani Aloha. No, I don't have plaster and lathe. There are some houses in the area that do have that, but mine is drywall, just regular drywall. Let's see here. Well, Shocklock, exactly. A good plumber won't have regular customers. Precisely, yeah. Which is why in the 3 years that I've had to call them, I've been very happy that they bothered to keep my name on the list because, it's few and far between. And I've never had to call them for the same issue twice. It's not, so it's not like their screw up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kenny Casey, trying to pick up ladies using your trade skills. I don't know why you didn't ever think of that, because let me tell you, I mean, maybe not when you were back in the day, but I don't know what women looked for in a man, but blue-collar men with manly man skills are in short supply these days. Let me tell you, it is 100% a plus on on the agenda, on the checklist, as it were. So let's see here. What are we talking about here? Oh, hey, Anne. Good to see you. That's all right. Life gets in the way. As long as you come in to say hi, we are happy to see you. Don't even worry about it. Um, let's see here. Hey, Tina Rose. Yeah, we were talking about that 6.2 earthquake earlier today on the Big Island. Did you, well, obviously you survived. Did anything fall off the wall? Did you have a heart attack? Were you on the toilet? Because last time I was in a 6.2 earthquake, I was on the toilet. Everybody else has already heard the story, so I'll spare you the details, but were you on the toilet too? uh, um, oh, wait, tomorrow is a holiday? Oh, what's tomorrow? Is tomorrow a holiday? What is tomorrow? I'm so I don't I don't what is tomorrow? Is tomorrow a holiday? I'm asking this because eMusic is asking, "Hey, where are you working tomorrow, holiday, or do you have the day off?" And I am sitting here being so confused, like, what holiday is tomorrow? Um, oh, it's Columbus Day. Oh, why did I think Columbus Day was in a different month? Oh, I guess that's why everyone's been talking about the Indigenous Peoples Day. All right then. Yeah, all right. Um, what do you know? I don't pay attention to the Columbus guy days. Actually, in Seattle, we don't celebrate Columbus Day. It's Indigenous Peoples Day is what we celebrate here in Seattle. So, and where I dated a guy once who was a master finish carpenter. I had to think really hard before breaking up with him. I know, right? It's just really a horrible, horrible thing, but it's like, I've got so many house projects. And master finish carpenters, they make stuff look good. Like those are the ones that you want working on that's no cocaine carpentry right there. That's like good stuff. Um, let's see here. Curtis Nix, he worked in film and video, went lots of different places, woodpecker holes, scraping branches, too busy working to see what was going on at home. Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. Um, so Kenny Casey, you got a truck, a bunch of tools, and a wide assortment of skills. Need anything fixed? Oh, careful what you're too far away, so you can ask that question. But yeah, I've got some gutters. I've got do I need anything fixed? That's funny. Yeah, I've got a honey-do list a mile long. Come on, honey. Come on over, honey. um, let's see here. Uh, so in Hawaii they call it Discoverers Day. Well, I hope eMusic, I hope when they're saying Discoverers Day, they're referring to the original discoverers of the island that, hit the shores in like 600 AD, not Cook or the Mormon guy who they say discovered Hawaii or whatever. Um, they, uh, I can't even understand that whole Mormon thing, but anyway. Um, so yeah, I know, right, Curtis? Oh, it is a holiday Monday. Who knew? Not me. Clearly not you. Everybody else in the world knew, but not me and you. So, uh, well, Shock, I think that October used to be the 8th month in the year, if I remember correctly. And it was only because of you know, the Caesars that things got that things got skewed. In fact, I believe there's a meme online that talks about this, and someone's response was, whoever screwed up this alignment of months should be stabbed. And someone responded, well, you'd be happy to hear what happened to that guy because he got stabbed. Yeah. So, oh, it's also the Boston Marathon Monday in Boston. I'm gonna guess that the Boston Marathon Monday always happens in Boston. Yeah. Hmm. So, let's see here. Oh no, Michi Mama, the last mansion you cleaned, you vacuumed up a million carpenter ants. They stopped, so I cleaned up to leave at 7 p.m. Just as I was leaving, they started to come out, and you began to stomp them. Felt like whack-a-mole. Oh no, that's just awful. Oh God, gross. Yikes. Yep. Um, so, and where, oh yeah, electricians, yowza. Yeah, I dated an electrician for a while, and luckily, actually, we're still on speaking terms. He owns his own HVAC company in White Center. And in fact, actually, I think in my White Center video that I have, uh, there's a picture of him on the side of his building in my video, and the painting. It's really funny every time I drive by there because I know the artist who painted that picture, and nobody believes me when I say like, no, that really is the owner of the business because he's just this big bald Mr. Clean looking dude, and that's the logo of the business, and everybody just thinks it's a a cartoon character that's the logo, and it's like, no dude, that's actually the owner of the business. He looks exactly like that. Yeah, and very handy to have an electrician uh as a friend, boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever the hell, because when I bought my house, he made not only not only did he make sure that he thought everything was good, he actually called in one of his like higher up city inspectors from the city of Seattle. Not, I don't live in Seattle, I live in Burien. He called up one of his Seattle city light inspectors, code enforcement, blah blah blah, and he went through my house with a fine-tooth comb for free, to let me know all the things that needed to be dealt with and what things looked dangerous but actually were just fine. So it was quite nice to have an extra set of eyes. Yeah. Um, so let's see here. Yeah, and where exactly? Old house, expensive renovations. Mm-hmm. I hear you there. Exactly. At two, Brute, says Andre. Um, so yeah, eMusic, I don't know enough about this history, but eMusic says to Andre, there's evidence that um, Hawaiians were in the Bay Area a long time ago, way back when. That doesn't surprise me at all. There's nothing about that surprises me because I feel as though um, archaeologists and all these people who are trying to recreate human migration patterns are vastly underestimating the use of boats. I really, really, really don't think they are understanding that boats and maritime technology that we don't even understand in our modern way has been used to travel for much longer periods of time and over much greater distances than modern man could even conceive of. I mean, just between South America, Rapa Nui, Hawaii, Tahiti, Alaska, all of the archipelago of the Alaskan chains, there's no way, you can't tell me that people didn't travel on boats around the Ring of Fire, basically. I refuse to believe that maritime migration and navigations didn't happen back in the day. I know that our, modern minds think that, well, if we can't do it, then aliens must have helped them do it. But I really feel like the civilizations and the technologies of the peoples of the Americas and other island nations is vastly misunderstood and underappreciated by the European historical paradigm that we are working from. All right then. Yeah. Yeah, Curtis, exactly. Yeah, I mean, my friend who hooked me up with the electrician, yeah, he's a good man. He takes care of his people, he takes care of his friends. Um so let's see here. Yeah, for now Columbus Day is federally recognized and post offices and the banks will be closed. So that is good to know because I would have gone to the bank and wondered why isn't there anybody coming to the drive-through window? I've done that before. Um, right, Andre, exactly. Polynesians were way better sailors than Columbus. Precisely. That's what I'm saying is I really feel like the knowledge and capabilities of these folks has not even they aren't given the credit that they need to be given. And do I have any evidence to support my thesis? No. Am I able to provide you a footnote with some sort of source for my opinions? No. But I still have my opinions. So there. Mitchie Mama, from a bad experience a few years ago, you've learned to keep your mouth shut about stuff that doesn't concern me. Ant problem is realtor's problem. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Sometimes it's better not to no, especially if it's pre-sale, and yeah, don't, yeah, totally. Yeah, because if you had told the wrong person about the ant thing and basically you'd ruined that realtor's sale, that realtor would have just been like, well, I'm never getting you to clean a house again because you just ruined a sale for me. Um, yeah. So, yeah, yeah, Curtis. Well, Curtis, I even after we broke up, we were good friends, and I helped him start his business, and it wasn't until him and his wife, like he eventually, well, I don't even know if they got married, but they had kids together. The chick that he dated after me, they ended up having kids together. Um, she hated me. And I think because I was still friends with him, because I was helping start his business. I was helping him start his business. And she hated me a lot. And it came to a boiling point one day, and we almost came to blows, me and his wife. But instead we decided to discontinue our working relationship and just let the wife have her way. So there was that. But yeah, we were still good friends. We were still yeah, I mean, he totally um he cared for me. He cared for lots of people. I was part of his life. Uh so let's see here. Yeah, the ancient Indonesians made it all the way to Madagascar. Right, there you go. Right, Andre, exactly. Only white people can sail. So says the old history books. Right, when the old history books also say that the Europeans had superior technology and came to the New World to find the savages, when in reality, the Europeans were fleeing their dirty, filthy, non-running water having cesspool of a country because of illness and famine and nastiness. And they were coming to the New World and finding that, like, oh, wait, they have plumbing, but we don't. So, yeah, exactly. Yep. Nani Aloha, wow, Mad Stutter. I dated an electrician. So many punchlines could go there. Oh, yeah, you don't even know. Um, yeah, exactly, Kenny. Polynesian seafarers totally outclassed all other seafarers. I'm not going to say that it was necessarily all other because who knows who else was around back in those days that might not still be around, but I do know that our modern mind is incapable of appreciating the knowledge and skills that the primitive man, and I say that with quotes, had. I really feel as though contact between South America, the west coast of South America, North America, Central America, and the archipelago of Alaska and the Hawaiian Islands were all in touch with each other. I I absolutely feel like there was trade or travel and exploration. I mean, maybe not, maybe not every day, but I do think that that those distances seem insurmountable to our modern mind by a man-powered craft, I don't think that is insurmountable. No, I have absolutely no proof to support my hypothesis. Um, so oh gosh, no, that's so funny. You thought you were the only one that was oblivious to holidays. No, I'm completely oblivious to holidays as well. Yeah. I mean, I live by myself. I don't have kids. I don't have nieces and nephews. Like Thanksgiving, Christmas is just another day. Like it really is. So, so there you go. Oh, Michi Mama, right. So you were cleaning for the final inspection. Exactly. So had you said something or gotten in the middle of that, you might have ruined a sale. Whereas it's just like that, let the realtor deal with that. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, e-music, I know you're talking to Andre, but that is the only proof that I have is the Hokulea's travel around the world to prove the ancient Hawaiians could travel around the world. Right, we have actually done it with our modern, in modern time as well, which is just like, well, yeah, so if we could do it now, why couldn't they do it then? Especially since in doing it now, and by now I mean back in the 70s, we had to relearn the knowledge from a completely different country. But they still, the seafarers there, still knew enough. The ancient ways holds plenty wisdom. um, Yes, Jim McKinnon, that's right. You're from Ballard, and we all know that Leif Erikson was here long before Columbus. That is true. There's only two of those statues in the world of Leif Erikson. One of them is in Norway, and the other one is in Ballard. Ufta! Yeah, Ballard is so Norwegian. Not necessarily anymore, but Ballard, for those of you who don't know, is a neighborhood in North Seattle that is a maritime oriented neighborhood, or was back in the day, shipbuilding, et cetera, and huge Scandinavian population in Ballard. Like that's, yeah, huge Scandinavian population in Ballard. um so uh Yeah, I agree. The oceans was the highway for ancient travel. Exactly. And island hopping is, to me, the most logical. Like, I know that they say, and like I said, I know nothing, but this is just what my gut tells me. That land bridge theory that everybody's been saying since the beginning of time and how people got to the Americas via the land bridge, I'm not buying it. Not for 1 second. No, no. I'm not buying it. Not for 1 second. It was boats, man. Island hopping the little boats. No, I have no proof of that. Not gonna lie. But that's just what my gut says. Um, so yeah, the Chinese sailed all the way to Africa, maybe even further, and they had trade relationships in Africa. That totally makes sense. Once again, if you follow coastlines, an island hop, it totally happens. Uh, so, and Curtis, you're exactly right. More seafaring nations have been forgotten than sail the seas now. Precisely. That's why it's like, I'm not going to say that the Polynesians were the best, because there could be a whole culture of people that literally has gone extinct and is no longer in existence, which is kind of redundant after they've gone extinct. But yeah, exactly. So I can't say that the Polynesians were the best. I can say that they were probably one of the best, and I can say that in our modern times they certainly are pretty flippin' good. so So yeah, the Spanish. Well, I mean, Columbus was sailing for Spain, right? That's what Columbus. I think Columbus was Italian himself, wasn't he? but he was sailing for the Queen of Spain. So yeah, the Portuguese and the Spanish, were all over the place, and well, the English, the Portuguese, and the Spanish were all over the place. Um, but either way, just because those European people had big boats with sails doesn't mean that nobody else did. Um, and where? Oh yeah, you betcha. Yep, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. So there used to be Hawaiians called the Ihu, people with red hair who were Hawaiian, therefore ships had to have come back and forth from Hawaii. Yeah, totally. I've heard of those red-headed Hawaiians. They confuse the hell out of me, that whole concept. But you're not the first person who has brought those red-headed Hawaiians to my attention. Um, let's see here. Jim McKinnon, Ballard Beavers 71, some of the best bars in Seattle. I'll tell you what, Jim. Hattie's Hat for the win, right? I mean, come on. Hattie's Hat. They pour heavy there. And Hattie's Hat actually is one of the older bars, I believe, in Ballard, and the bar back itself, the wooden bar, it's so old that it went around the horn to get to Ballard. It was before the that thing. Before the canal. It had to go around the horn to get to Seattle. It's that old. I don't know if Leif Erikson was a Hawaiian with red hair. I do know that Leif Erikson was a Norwegian, but I don't even know if Leif Erikson ever went to Hawaii, actually. Oh, shock. You'd be surprised. The land bridge theory is kind of discredited, but there are people who still hold on to it. I mean, whatever. But even before it was discredited, with legit scientific know-how, etc., I never once bought it. It was just like, no, boats. 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 Maybe it's just because I've lived near the water my whole life, but it's just like, no, boats. Boats is how it happened. So let's see here. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see here. Oh, Ann Ware, thank you. I'm glad that you like the new background. Yeah, this is sort of still a work in progress. It's just a bunch of scarves over the painting that you're used to seeing. And I will get other scarves and deal with designs, but I figured it was time to play a little bit. I'm not a fan of this one. I'm not a fan of this being right next to my face. So this is the one that's bothering me the most. But yeah, we're gonna figure that out. So let's see here. Michi Mama, you wish Hawaiians against the new telescope on Mauna Kea would realize that the ancient Hawaiians knew about the stars and used it to get to Hawaii. Yeah, I'm not gonna touch that with the 10-foot pole because I'm not a native Hawaiian and I don't know enough about what that protest is all about. I definitely I am a little bit confused about that protest because I don't know. I mean, I really don't know enough to have an opinion, actually. I just know that I am confused because it's like, well, like, what's wrong with having a telescope? What kind of destruction or pollution or, like, I guess what my question is, like, what is the problem? I'm not asking that question to downplay the issue or, like, poo-poo their concerns. I am, I guess, literally like, so what are the concerns? Like, why is this? Because this is a big deal. Like, people the protest for that telescope is kind of a big deal. Yeah. So, okay, cool. So Anware says that I'm not lying and that Spain was actually funding Columbus. Good. So of some redheaded Aleuts. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the redheaded gene is something that just pops up periodically. They're redheaded natives at the northern part of New Zealand. There's an interesting video about them on YouTube. Interesting, interesting. So I can only I'm gonna hypothesize on things that I know nothing about. I can only assume that maybe the redheaded natives in the northern part of New Zealand might be genetically associated with those redheaded folks that used to be in Hawaii. Like I said, I don't know what I'm talking about here. I'm just guessing. Um, so, oh yeah, eMusic, thank you so much. The Hokulea is a reconstructed ancient styled Hawaiian canoe that went around the world a couple years ago. For those who didn't know that, apologies for not pointing that out. And yeah, Hattie's Hat, 6 calls, sick call at 6 a.m. That's when they open it up. You better believe it. Um, so let's see here. Yeah, Shockalock, just because it's discredited, it doesn't mean that idiots that don't hold on to the land bridge theory. True, true, true. Yeah, Chris, exactly. Us truck drivers don't get holidays and weekends. No, no, you do not. Nope, nope, nope. So Spain need to get rid of all those vet of a 500 years of war. The last Moorish city fell that year of Columbus voyage. Yeah, yeah, that was right when Europe was trying to regain control of their own selves from the Moors. That is correct. But I have to say, I really appreciate what the Moors did with Europe while they were there. Because, while they were there, the rest of Europe was in the Dark Ages, and the Moors were all busy inventing math and stuff. I was gonna say something different, but and of course they weren't inventing math, but they were the Moors were very they were very important in holding on to knowledge that the rest of Europe was trying to throw away during the Dark Ages. So yeah, so alrighty, music. Yeah, it is getting to be, we're hitting in on the 2 hour mark, so we're probably gonna wrap this up anyway. But yeah, if you've got to go now, go now. We will definitely see you later soon, hopefully. And exactly, Curtis, we only get the European slant on what the whole situation is. And so yeah, I'd be curious. I mean, China's history goes back how many thousands of years? You've got to be kidding me if you're trying to tell me that they didn't go explore the planet while, I mean, really? Yeah. So oh really? Terry in Scotland, Leif Erikson was from Iceland, huh? Because I always thought he was from Norway, and am I swear I would bet 25 cents. I'm so sure of this. I swear that Leif Erikson is, like, the statue of Leif Erikson is in Norway, not Iceland. I thought. I'm really good at making things up, though. Yeah, exactly. And where that we were bordering right real close to the 3 cows. With that whole Mauna Kea thing. So, hey, Cindy, good to see you. Got to get going. Awesome. I'm glad you were able to stop by and say hello and goodbye. So, okay, so Michi Mama, in your opinion, it's anti-science and anti-government. Yeah, I can kind of appreciate that. Like I said, I don't know enough to have an opinion, but I do know that that it struck me as very odd. Like, of all the things to protest, like the whole when the super ferry was going between like Maui and Oahu, and there was huge protests, etc. Coming from Washington, which has the largest ferry system in, I think, the world, the idea of protesting a ferry was weird to me, but I could understand it because there is pollution associated with it. There is destruction of habitat associated with it. There is problems with ferries. Like, while I was a fan of the idea of the super ferry, I could at least appreciate why people were not. But when it comes to a telescope, like, what's the problem? I guess I just don't get it. So yeah. Oh, Andy, you're here. And in a nutshell, okay, so wait. In a nutshell, the protesters saying that the telescope people are trashing the place. Okay, well, that's it's funny you should say that because that's kind of the only impression that I've gotten from these protests is that. And so I just hmm, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Okay. Good to know. All right. I'm going to look into this. I'm definitely not going to like give opinions on it because like we've said this is dangerously close to the three cows political being the one. But yeah, now I'm really confused. Like really? That's okay. Okay. Shakalak, the redhead genes all come from Neanderthal genome that's pretty dang old, and they were in Asia as well as in Europe. Yeah, and well, apparently they were everywhere. Um, and Scotland, island type country, New Zealand, also island type country. I'm guessing that perhaps some of those redheads got on a boat. Just a guess. So, Taiwan is supposed to be the home of the Polynesian languages, so says some research. Interesting. Yeah, that whole train of oh, what am I trying to say? That whole study of the history of the linguistics and where it comes from, it is so much over my head. I don't speak other languages, and so it's really like it's all Greek to me. Sorry, that was sad and pathetic, but really, it's all Greek to me. But I find it fascinating that that you can trace the evolution of a people based on the language remnants that are left, as it were. Um, oh, Jim McKinnon, your mom was a barmaid at the Ballard Eagles for 30 plus years. Oh, I'll bet you she has some stories. I've actually never been to an Eagles club, but I did give a bartender at the Eagles club in Burien a ride to work one day. She had missed her bus and I was sitting in a parking lot playing Pokemon Go, and I guess I looked safe enough, and so she ran over to my car and she's like, "You're playing Pokemon Go, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." She's like, "I could tell by the swipe." And I was like, we got to laugh, and she's like, "So can you give me a ride to work?" And it was just like, okay. I mean, I wasn't doing anything. I was literally sitting in a park playing Pokemon Go. So I was like, all right, cool. So hopped in the car and drove her across town to go to Ballard Eagles. Or not Ballard Eagles, Burien Eagles. Yeah, but that's all I know about the Eagles Club is I randomly gave a stranger who was a bartender at the Eagles Club. Um, so yeah, right, exactly, Shock. Moorish culture tended to be, um, you know, full of all sorts of things. Until exactly tended to be innovative and tolerant until, um, yeah, they had baths in Moorish Spain, right? Exactly. Uh, yeah, and I think, well, and then of course, the Romans put baths in Bath, England. So, um, let's see here. Oh, Shakalak, you think Leif's dad got banished to Iceland? Okay, okay. Um, Jim McKinnon. Yeah, China would like to take back Taiwan. I mean, they've already got Hong Kong. Um, but the Hong Kong thing, that was planned. The Taiwan thing, I don't know how successful they're going to be on that one. But that's getting dangerously close to a cow as well. So we'll just leave that at that. Um, so let's see here. Oh, it's in Reykjavik, eh? Well, my friend from Norway told me it was in Norway. He's a liar. I'll have to go wag my finger at him. Um, Andre, you're so old that you rode a hydroplane into Kona from Maui. See, I actually don't mind the hydroplanes. Like the hydroplanes, or no, not hydroplanes, hydrofoils or whatever. The boats that like lift up off the water. I think those are hydrofoils. Those I really would like to see being explored for ferrying people between islands because the wake is much less. And I really would like the hydrofoil technology to get some traction in Washington at least. Um Yeah, okay, so shock, that's sort of, yeah, it was an intrusion into sacred land. That's kind of the impression I got as well. On the other hand, you know, uh, yeah, never mind. So, okay, so, and then those telescopes need a lot of infrastructure and a lot of buildings, and they're supposed to be getting close to holy places. Okay, see, yeah, this is the nuance that I'm not aware of, that I'm definitely need to uh become more aware of before I even think about having an opinion on the protests for sure. So you live on Orcas Island? Oh, Jim, I didn't know that you lived on Orcas Island, and the ferry system sucks under the current leadership. Dude, yeah. Um the ferry system is in serious need of revamping in this area. So many communities depend on the ferries in Washington. Our island dwelling neighbors like Orcas Island, Lopez Island, San Juan Islands, all of the islands that we have, Vashon Island, all need the ferries, obviously, because they're on islands and they literally can't get to the mainland. There's no bridges. They have to take a boat. But even places like Bremerton, which you can drive, say, from Bremerton to Seattle, but Bremerton is woefully left behind in the ferry situation as well. Bainbridge Island gets all the ferries. The system right now is absolutely screwed up. It's not equitable towards need at all. Let's see here. So Michi Mama says, "Oh my God, that total mess up was by Linda Lingle. She didn't do the proper environmental studies. It was the people of Kauai who was protesting. I think the airlines and the car rental companies were very happy. Oh yeah, plenty. Tourism industry was super stoked about the super. You're talking about the super ferry, I'm assuming. Yeah, totally. Um, okay, so the heiau. Oh, there's a heiau up there. Oh. Oh, okay. Now suddenly things are getting a little bit more um clear. All right, Chris, good to see you. Got to wake up early, go moi moi. Hang loose. See you guys later. Yeah, have a good time. Have a good time heading out to Tyler, Texas, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, hit me up next time we're online. Good to see you, Chris, and drive safe, but you know that. Um and don't get in trouble in Texas. It's easy to get in trouble in Texas. Don't get in trouble in Texas. Um, so let's see here. Yeah, and where I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota has a couple Leif Erikson statues as well. So but but the one that's in Ballard has a matching one somewhere, and I swear to God, I thought it was in Norway. But maybe Eld told me wrong, which would not be the first time. So wow, Jim, people are not showing up to work. I'm assuming, wait, okay. Now either you're saying it's a pain because people who have to commute onto Orcas Island aren't able to show up to work because the ferries are so crummy, or you're saying that the ferry workers aren't showing up to work. And that kind of surprises me because ferry workers get paid a lot of flipping money. Like a lot of money. So, Terry in Scotland, you lived in Tyler, Texas. Good luck with having a good time there. Oh. So, Jim, you say Texas has Kolaches? Kolaches. I don't know what Kolaches are, but it sounds like it might be food because we always talk about food here. What's a Kolaches, Jim? Kolach? What is that you're talking about? Oh, really? Okay, so the employees of the ferry terminal or the ferry system are not showing up to work, which is why the boats are not sailing. Okay. Um, And Kenny Casey, yeah, it's stupid easy to get in trouble in Texas, and being a local doesn't help much. I found out from experience. Yeah, well, let me just tell you, driving through Texas with Washington plates and pink hair, that'll get you noticed. I ended up on the side of the road back in the day with a Texas state trooper who was looking for every reason to search my car. Luckily, he did not. Had he searched my car, I probably would still be in jail to this day. So I was on the road for a month and a half. I had a month and a half's worth of weed on me. And you shouldn't have a month and a half's worth of weed on you when you're driving alone through Texas in a car without estate plates and pink hair. Pro tip. Pro tip. Kolaches are pillows of wonderful taste. I feel like I have heard this term before, which is why I knew it was food, but I can't bring it into my head. Yeah. Kolaches? Okay, well, what are they? Other than pillows of wonderful taste. So, Kenny, Jim, you've piqued my interest here. Andre, they don't like California plates in Texas either. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Texas is one of the few scary states that I have and will drive through. But I will tell you this, I will not drive through Louisiana. I will not drive through Alabama. I will not drive through Mississippi. And frankly, the panhandle of Florida scares me too. I know that I'm a white girl, but I'm not that kind of white. And I just feel like, I just feel like it would be a bad thing. So, they're the Czech pastries filled with fruit or cream cheese. Okay. I think, are those similar to punchkis as well? Because I think I know what those are if they're like punchkis. Austin has them too. Okay. So, Jim McKinnon, are you saying that the best kolaches are they're best from out in a West Texas town, maybe El Paso? Okay, wait. Puff pastry, flaky puff pastry with savory filling. Oh, these are not like punchkis at all then. But they sound yummy. They sound very yummy. I like savory pastries. All right, so it's 6:30. We're on the verge of talking about food, which could get this scattered into a whole other 8 hours worth of things and stuff. So what we're going to do is we're all going to look up how to make the kolaches. Kolaches is whatever the heck. No, punchkis aren't pierogies. Punchkis are different. Punchkis are like a jelly donut. Is what they are. So wait, the best whatever we're talking about are from the town of West. Not a West Texas town. The town of West, which is just north of Waco. Kill me now. Okay. All right. Yeah, I get it now. West Texas. It's the name of a town. Flippin' flurp. Thanks, Texas. All right then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Mitchie Mama, exactly. I'm like, what the heck are these things? I guess there's some kind of pastry is what those things are. So, yeah, we'll have to look it up. So, everybody make note. It's spelled Kolaches, and look it up, and we'll all know what we can talk about next time on Chatter with Statter. And so, so thank you so much for joining us here. It's getting to be 2-hour mark. Cannot believe this. I had a video I was going to show you and everything. Thanks for hanging out at the Statterbox, Chatter with Statter. Super stoked we could all get here together. Oh, hey, one last thing. God, I'm trying to wrap this up. So, next Saturday at Statterbox at the cinema, we've got Goonies. So I actually have, it's an actual DVD. There we go. Look, it's an actual DVD. And so I'm going to put that onto my machine and we're going to stream it out to the universe. And so Statterbox at the Cinema, 6 p.m. on West Coast time, 3 p.m. on the Hawaiian Island time, 9 p.m. on the East Coast time. That Saturday on Twitch, we're going to watch The Goonies. And I think that's going to be the next time I maybe... Oh, no, wait. What day is it today? No, I'll see you on Thursday. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Statterbox at... No, I don't even know where I'm going to be, you guys. See you next Thursday. Chatter with Statter here on YouTube. But I might do a pop-up on Twitch sometime before then. So keep an eye out on Twitch. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me here this Sunday and perhaps even next Thursday, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast time, 1:30 Hawaii, 7:30 East Coast, and midnight 30 there in the UK. I'm glad we could hang out today, and hopefully I will see you all next time. Thanks so much for hanging out.